Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Terrific Tuesday. It is that day in the week that we give God glory, honor, and praise because he keeps on showing himself strong. Today, I invite you to look with me in Acts, the 7th chapter, verses 19 through 16. Before I jump into the text, I want to take a moment and pause to say happy birthday to my elder brother, my oldest brother-in-law, Jim Young. God bless you, Jim. We thank God for how you came into the family so many years ago, and you are such a great inspiration to us all. Today, I invite you to look with me again at Acts, the 7th chapter, verses 9 through 16. This is a very powerful pericope where we find out that these patriarchs were jealous of their brother Joseph. This becomes a retelling of the story that took place in the Old Testament, how they sold him out and how they used him for the purpose of getting rid of him. But little did they know. They thought that they were getting rid of Joseph, but they were setting Joseph up to become the king of Egypt. This text becomes so powerful because it reminds all of us that God gives us opportunities, that sometimes a setback is really a setup. Too oftentimes, you and I, we feel that when we have setbacks in our lives, that God has forgotten about us. Joseph spent years thinking that God had forgotten about him, but God was only preparing him for what was ahead. You and I need to be reminded that Joseph became an instrument to be used by God to demonstrate to all of us. You might feel you're in your own personal dungeon, but God is getting ready to take you out. But even while you're in your personal dungeon, God can use you to minister to people. Too oftentimes when we're in positions where it feels like nobody hears us, nobody sees us, God is giving us an opportunity to work undercover. He's giving us a moment that we can share his goodness with someone. Remember, when Joseph was incarcerated, he talked to a butcher and a baker, and God delivered them. You know, sometimes we forget about our brothers and our sisters who are incarcerated. They may have been incarcerated for the wrong reason, and God is doing great and wonderful things in them. And God is allowing them to use their moments of darkness, use their moments of being hidden, that he can do something in them. Too oftentimes we forget to learn from this lesson. It doesn't mean that we always have to be out in front of everybody, but God uses us behind the scene so he can be on the scene. In this text, we will find out that it was during the course of time that Joseph was revealed and identified to his brothers and to Pharaoh for who he really was. Joseph used this as a moment to show you what you thought you meant for evil, God will use it for good. God can take us from situations that we believe are those that we have been forgotten about, and he can elevate us to a moment that he can be glorified. Joseph becomes a blessing to his brothers. He becomes a blessing to his nation. He becomes a blessing to the world. And he becomes a blessing to all of us who read this text to remind us, never grow weary in well-doing, because in due season you shall reap if you faint not. May the Lord bless you. May heaven smile upon you. And we'll look forward to talking with you again on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.